Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Matt here, aka MrMRCTV, and it's been a little while since I've done a review. I think the last review I did was like in February, I think. So I figured why not bring the show back with the probably the most anticipated album of the year, which is A Day to Remember's Common Courtesy. And there's been a lot of hype for this album just coming in because of the fact they've been in a lawsuit for the past couple months with Victory Records over who gets to release the album, who doesn't, and a bunch of other legal complicated stuff that is hard to explain. Overall, I was pretty nervous before the album came out because I kind of had like that feeling of anxiety in the back of my head, like, is it going to be the best thing ever? Is it going to suck? Is it going to be kind of in the middle but not as good? Is it not going to live up to expectations? Is it going to blow the expectations out of the water? Is it going to be the greatest thing ever heard? And it's easy to say after listening to it that it is probably the best album of the year so far. Now, I have to say I'm probably a little bit biased because A Day to Remember is my favorite band at the moment. Just because their music has kind of always hit a personal note for me, and their live show is absolutely phenomenal. I recommend you guys to go check it out. So I had a lot of expectations going into this album. But I think it's easy to say that when it comes to all the songs are great in their own way. Some of them are actually very different sounding, such as End of Me and I Surrender are very different departures. They sound very hard rock-ish and kind of medium tempo, Lighters in the Air, Mayday Parade, 3 Days Grace type songs that are very, very good. And Jeremy McKinnon's vocal style has changed drastically. His screams still sound really similar. They kind of got that punch and intensity to them that fans have come to love over the years, but at the same time his cleans have changed a little bit. It seems like they've become a little bit thinner, and this isn't a bad thing at all. It's really catchy, and I really enjoy the work that he's done with it so far. And don't worry, because there's a lot of heavy songs to be found on here, from Dead and Buried, Violence, and The Document Speaks for Itself. All are really intense songs with a huge punch, and I think it's easy to say that life lessons life lessons learned the hard way is probably going to be the best Circle Pit song of all time when they play it live. So I'm looking forward to that, really. And there's also a lot of personal feelings in this record from the band members, because, such as for the final song, for the last couple minutes, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm just going to say, when listening to it, you're going to think, wow, these guys are really cool and just personal, and this entire album overall just has a much more honest and personal feel, and I like it a lot because many more people could relate to this album compared to the previous couple albums, where like the previous couple albums it was like teen angst and other stuff, and I could be wrong. I mean, a bunch of different interpretations, but whatever. But on this one, I just feel that the songs are a lot more personal compared to the other albums, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that. The only issue I have with the album is that fans of A Day to Remember, if any people watching this review right now are not fans of A Day to Remember, I can't guarantee you're going to become like their biggest fan and immediately love it just because of this record, but I encourage you to try it anyway, because listening to this album, I have never gotten chills like that when listening to an album, and this album overall has reminded me why I love music. Well, with that being said, Common Courtesy is probably the best album I've heard all year, and it has a lot of really heavy songs and also a lot of catchy pop-punk tunes and even some cool hard rock songs that I think a lot of people can enjoy. People who aren't already fans of A Day to Remember may or may not like the album. It's going to be very hit or miss, but I encourage everyone to try it out anyway, because they're a band that deserves success 100%, and this album has reminded me why I love music. So that being said, I'm going to give Common Courtesy the first perfect review, 5 out of 5 stars. I'm Matt Carlson. Stay classy, YouTube.